So I am going to show you how to blend two faces together, and I'm just going to be honest with you, sometimes it works and sometimes it just doesn't work. It's not very predictable, but I just wanted to show you. So I selected this picture and this picture, and I merged them into this picture. So I'm going to do exactly what I did here, and it may or may not work. It's being really weird. I am in 2018, where earlier I was in the old 2017, so maybe that has something to do with it. Don't know. So you want two pictures that are very similar, and this one to be a little bit smaller because we're going to make it bigger in a minute to fit. If you can't really tell, because I can't really tell, I'm going to make it so it's almost, I'm looking at the eyes. The eyes are pretty close. The nose is way off and the mouth is way off, but that's okay because we're going to make this bigger in a little bit anyway. Okay, so when you have these little handle here you want to just hit enter or return to get rid of that. Okay, so we're clicked on, before we do anything at all, we want to Command J, click on this one, Command J, so that we have copies of these, because if we don't have these get changed, and so then you don't have an original picture left, and you might need it for certain reasons. I'm going to click here and hold Shift and click here, and then I'm going to Command G to group them together, and then I'm going to turn them off so they're like they're not even there. Okay, so I'm going to turn off this one, and this one's clicked, and I am just going to select the pieces that I know I want. I want my eyes. And you can use any selection tool you want. It really doesn't matter. I did notice that I need more of this forehead. Okay, and then when you use the pen tool, you have to click in the center with two fingers and say Make Selection. And you know what? I'm going to leave this at 2 pixels. And then I'm going to select Modify, and I'm going to expand by 6 pixels and say OK. So now I have my selection made. I'm going to hit the, I call it, it looks like a Japanese flag kind of, it's a layer mask, and you click that, and you want to zoom in and make sure it's a little fuzzy around the edges, which it is. Okay. So then we're going to turn on the bottom one, and we can see how little, this is smaller than this one, which is what we want. So I'm clicked on this one, I'm going to hit Command T, and I'm going to make it bigger by holding Shift and Option. And when you do that, it comes right from the center. But I don't think I needed that. Okay, that looks pretty good. To get rid of these little handles, you just hit Enter or Return. And then we're almost done, believe it or not. So I'm going to turn this one off so we don't get confused. So we kind of have to do the same thing with this image. And you could select this, but I'm not going to, because it's not going to be the same exact. Because I want to keep a lot of this face. And there's a lot of it I don't want. Let's see here. I think it works better if you, on this one, you don't click as much. Because we want to keep as much of this one as we can. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. Okay, and then click in the middle and make selection. 2 pixels seems to work. Say OK. At this point, you might want to try to go to Select, Modify, and do the opposite of what we did earlier. Instead of expand, you could try to contract it. I don't know if that works or not, but let's just see. It's been working without having to do that, so let's just see. So I'm going to hit the mask, and it selected the opposite of what I want. So I could come up here to select and hit inverse. It's not letting me do it. So I'm going to come here and just hit Command I. I'm going to turn this one on, and I can see there's some places that aren't showing, but it really does a good job of filling those in just a minute, usually. So let's see if we can auto blend these two pictures. So we're going to click on this one, hold shift and click on this one, and then you go up to edit, auto blend layers, panoramic, seamless tones, and hit OK. Okay, so it did a pretty darn good job. To get rid of these, we hit Command D. Those are the places that it had to fill in with content aware. Okay, not too shabby. Pretty good. Okay, so you could stop right there if you want, or I can show you how to use the clone tool to get this looking a little bit better. So clone tool, we want this kind of skin on mine here. So I'm going to hit Option, and you can see wherever that little plus sign is up here, it's going to clone what's up there. It's going to clone it down here. And notice that I have my opacity at 61 and my flow at 50. It doesn't have to be exact, those numbers, but I can't talk and do something at the same time. Whoops. Now see, it's creating another eye here. We don't want that, right? So Command Z. So you have to keep hitting Option. It's not working there again. So I'm going to hit Option. You can see there's something weird going on here. Option. And this is a good reason why we need our pictures from before, because I need that eyebrow to come back, don't I? So let's turn all of this off and get our originals back. And let's figure out whose eyebrow we want. Do I want her eyebrow or do I want mine? It's going to have to be hers because I don't have much of an eyebrow there. And so what we can do is, gosh, there's so many things. There's so many ways you can do this. I'm sure somebody's going to say, that's not the way to do it. But I'm going to get this eyebrow. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get the whole thing. Why not? Okay, when you don't want, okay, just so you know, I got the quick selection tool. And when you don't want it, you hit the Option to tell Photoshop, no, I don't want that. I don't want that either, dude. Okay, so I'm on this layer, I'm on the correct layer. I could hit Command J, and there's that eyebrow, and I could bring it up here. Okay, so there's the eyebrow. Okay, so to grab the eyebrow, it's Command T. And then to get rid of these little things, you just hit Return. That looks really stupid, doesn't it? That does not look good. So I would probably lower the opacity of it. Probably. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. I tried and tried and tried to get her eyes, and I could not get her eyes with like doing hue and saturation. And so what I did is I went down here and I actually did the same thing that I did with that eyebrow. I grabbed her eyes. It sounds funny. Make sure you're on that layer. Grabbed her eyes. I'm going to hold Shift so I can select both of them. Okay, now I'm going to Command J. So here's her eyes right here. I'm going to turn this one off because I don't need it anymore. Oh, it's funny. And then I'm going to drag this on top. Okay. So here's where we have to line these up. I'll hold Shift. Okay. And then when you have these little things, you have to hit Return or Enter, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And then we can put a mask on here. And we can Command I. And then I'm going to get my B for brush. Just click your little brush. If your mask is black, this needs to be white. Okay, and the reason that's so stark is because I had it at 100%, so I don't want it at 100%. I'm going to put it at 50 and flow at 50. And the way I did that, I just hit the number 5 on my key, and to do this one, I just hit Shift and 5, and it changes it. So now I have a lower opacity brush that'll look more realistic. At least in my opinion. Okay. And then zoom out, let's see. Looking okay. Let's see here. I don't know if I like that eyebrow, but I would probably work on it and fix it a little bit better. That's how I do it. Something's wrong with this eye, isn't it? That's going to drive me bananas. I look kind of cuckoo, don't I? Ooh, kind of goofy-eyed. Well, I would go back and fix that, but I don't have time right now, so let me just show you another finished product that I spent forever on, so you can see how it can look. It can look really good. I would just do the eyes separately, like do one eye on one layer and do the other eye on the other layer. That's what I did here, I think. Okay, I hope you can do yours.